Well, okay, here we go. We're going to see just how bad this battery is. We're going to go ahead and take it off the charger. The charger is one of those smart chargers that says it's green. It means that the charger's telling me it's charged. This charger would not start because it's smart chargers. Some of them will not turn on unless there's a certain amount of voltage in the battery. So I had to fake this battery charger out to start the charge. And I charged it on a 2 amp setting. And what I did was I took my battery booster box and I put it on the battery, faked out the battery charger to start its charging circuitry. Don't know how good that is for the battery charger. There's a reason why these smart chargers don't want to charge a battery that's, a 12-volt battery that's 6 volts. But hey, I needed to get it charged. And Harbor Freight will sell me another battery charger. I'm sure they will. And we're going to go ahead and give this battery the once over. We're going to check the voltage, electrolyte level, and then we're going to go ahead and give her the old cold cranking amp test. And we're going to see just how much this battery has retained from its charging exercise. Before we get started here, one of my co-workers asked me, hey, what's with the voice? And it seems like no matter how hard I try, as soon as I hit the record button on the video camera, my voice changes. And it changes from southern twang to Australian to who knows what. And I've tried to keep it natural as possible, it just doesn't seem to work. So I'm not going to fight it, I'm just going to let her rip. And you don't know what kind of voice I'm going to come out with. I don't know what kind of voice is going to come out of my mouth. I'm tired of trying to make it sound natural. I'm just going to let it rip. So let's get to it. First thing I'm going to do is put on my trusty safety glasses here because it doesn't take much. For a little acid to splash up, it doesn't take hardly anything at all. I'm going to go ahead and put on my Dollar General chemical resistant safety gloves here. And the first thing I'm going to do is de-energize my battery charger. All right, battery charger's off. We're going to blow away any gas that's on the top. These chargers with electronic circuits in it, it might cause a spark, and I just don't need that trouble right now. Hydrogen gas is lighter than air, so if you let the stuff out, it'll take off like a rocket and it'll leave. So I encourage it to leave. And I can already tell that the electrolyte has risen inside the battery because it's on the caps. On my 2 end cells, the electrolyte was just barely covering the plates. So we're going to take a look here. And yep, we got some electrolyte has come up significantly. You can see the wet around the tops there. So yes, there was some charging action going on. Okay, don't need these open while we do our load test. Certainly have a risk of causing a spark there. So I'm not going to be touching the battery with my hands anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and take off my chemical resistant gloves here, and we're going to give her, remember I just took this off the battery charger, and the birds want to get in on it. Yeah, I have I guess you can call it a community of birds in my pole barn here. They're welcome. I just took her off the charger, and it says 12.7 volts. If you walk up to a battery and put your tester on there, and it says 12.7, you're encouraged. You say, oh, well, yeah, that thing could possibly start whatever I want to start with it. So we got our caps on tight. We're going to go ahead and get the load tester. I'll see my battery here. And we're going to see just what we have inside this machine here. All right. We got that guy there. This guy here. And boy, you know what? I might have to rearrange this so that I can get the load tester in the picture here. All right. So I'm going to try not to touch the battery terminal. Keep it in focus. And we're going to hit the test button and see what happens. Ooh, look at that. It says weak, bad. Okay, weak, bad, bad, bad. It's going south in a hurry. This battery, well, it's not as bad as it was when we started, but then again, it hadn't been charged for months and years, and it had been frozen a couple times. So this battery, yeah, it's still, well, look, it's coming up, it's coming up, it's coming up. There ain't no current. There's just no current here. You're not going to start anything with this except for maybe an RC car. Now, yeah, see, now she's heading for the cellar on this one. Okay, we got no usable energy in this guy. So, well, boy, I'll tell you, thanks a lot, LG. Well, it's not the phone's fault. I think I got a bad digitizer on the phone or something, and it just does its own thing. Well, I don't know how far into the video I got before it decided it was just gonna, pull the plug on me. Silent partners, I tell you, man, sometimes they have more power than what you think. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get this guy slow charging, and we're going to see just what we can get going on here. See if we can get a little life brought back into this battery. Okay, this is going to take a while. We'll see. Okay, I'm back. Just wanted to give you a little shot of my charging setup here. I charge my batteries in this tray, and I got baking soda in the bottom because I fully expect the electrolyte to rise up and seep out of the battery on the top. So I neutralize it with the baking soda down there, just to, that sulfuric acid's bad stuff. It'll burn you hurry. It'll burn you in a hurry. Man, what happened to my voice? I can't talk now. Yeah, just getting all crazy. It'll burn you in a hurry. As soon as you touch it, man, you'll start feeling it to burn. So this baking soda, it keeps it kind of safe. Take every precaution you can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on a slow charge, low current, really low current. I don't want this thing to bubble. People think that, well, she's bubbling, she must be charging, must be doing a good thing. It's a chemical change. It's a chemical process. And bubbling is electrolysis. And I'll produce another video on electrolysis and what it looks like inside a battery when you put too much current in it. And it produces the hydrogen and the oxygen gas combined together. Hydrogen is flammable by itself, but when you add oxygen to it, it's like adding oxygen to an acetylene torch. It gets a lot more active. So what I'm doing here is I will disconnect. I've got a benchtop power supply, and I will add my plus there, my minus here. I got the other end of that disconnected because as soon as I attach it to my benchtop power supply, it tells me what kind of voltage I have inside there, and it, of course, right now it's telling me, yeah, right, you got voltage, kiddo, but not a lot of amperage. Okay, guys. Tell you my adventure today. I went to mow the grass, and the starter actually went out to my MTD. And I'm thinking, you know what? I need to get the grass mowed because it was nice and dry. And I've got Tilly here, and she did not have a mower deck. So I went up to Parker, South Dakota, and rummaged through the junkyard up there and got myself a mower deck for this 1978 Sears Suburban. Well, I'm all excited. I get the mower deck put on there. Actually, before that, I wanted to pull the tractor out. Okay, so I hopped on the tractor to start her up, and she started to crank over, and the battery, it died that was in here. So I said, you know what, this here is a perfect opportunity to see just what this old Baumgart's battery will do after just one charge cycle on the benchtop power supply. So I put her in there and turned the key, click, click, nothing, right? I'm like, well, okay, that was nice. I guess there's nothing nothing to be said about one charge cycle. I didn't expect a whole lot anyhow. Well, it turns out the Bendix got hung up in the on the flywheel, so I backed the engine off a little bit, and I did run the battery down a little bit from trying to get it to go. So I put the booster box on it and cranked her over, got the tractor started, got the mower deck on it. Of course, I didn't put the mower deck on it while it was running, but I got the mower deck on it, and you know, I'm getting things all out of order here. I put the mower deck on before I even tried to start it with this. You know, I did try to start it, but I figured, you know, I'm putting mower deck on it. I'll let the other one charge up. I put the old battery on the charger, and before I took this battery out, I figured I'd try the booster box on it just to get it cranked up. So I put the booster box on it, got the mower, got the tractor started, and I figured, all right, now we're going to try out the mower deck since I got it running. So I went out and I mowed some grass, and she mows like a beast. What do you expect? This thing is, you know, it's a tractor, and it handled the grass just fine. Well, I'm like, okay, well, this battery has had a chance to charge up on the charging system in the tractor, so I figured, well, let's just put the load tester on there. And I started it a couple times since without the booster box, so I knew the battery had some power in it to crank it over. So I put the load tester on it, and to my surprise, we actually have a pretty decent charge in this battery. I mean, we're not talking, you know, the 250 cold cranking amps that it's supposed to have, but if I can get the tester down in here, if you can see it, I hit the button there. Yeah, she goes 200 and then she goes weak. But you know what? It doesn't slam down here in the red. So that one charge cycle puts her up in the green, and after hitting her with the load tester, it might get loud. Let's see if it'll crank her over. Well, I guess it wasn't such a waste of time after all. Well, I got a few more charge and discharge cycles to do on this battery, but that just goes to show if you charge a battery the right way, there's a lot of life left in some of these old batteries. And right now I got the battery on charge that was in this tractor. I'll be topping off its charge, you know, desulfating it a little bit, and putting her back in the tractor, and then I'll continue this project here just to see if we can get her up in the 250 cold cranking amp range. You know, this battery is it's doing great. You know, so far so good. It'll actually start a tractor, and it passed the load test with surprising colors. So here we go. That's a good sign. That's a reward for trying something. You know, some people might say waste of time. I say it's just fun, man. This is fun. Well, until next time.